Two people are facing high-level felony drug charges after they were found to be transporting a large quantity of narcotics last week here in the Panhandle. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, law enforcement in Scottsbluff County had learned that 35-year-old Tiffany Spray of Scottsbluff, who had an active arrest warrant, was riding public transportation into the area last Wednesday, and on her arrival was taken into custody. Traveling with her was 39-year-old Antonio Sauceda of Fort Lupton, Colorado, and after a search of Spray turned up plastic baggies with blue pills marked as M30, a search of Sauceda produced 2 bags with a total of 227 blue fentanyl pills and more than 50 grams of a substance testing positive for meth. Each told officers the other had given them the drugs, and both were charged with possession with intent to distribute meth between 28 and 140 grams and possession with intent to distribute fentanyl. Bond in both cases set at $200,000 and preliminary hearing set for early August. Well, a Minutair man is facing 6 Class 1D felony charges following a 4-month-long investigation by the Scottsbluff County Sheriff's Department. 32-year-old Dustin Peters was arrested on Thursday on a warrant charging him with 6 counts of possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Court records show that Peters, a convicted felon, was caught transporting a gun safe carrying multiple firearms in an effort to hide the weapons from authorities. Bond has been set at $600,000 at 10%, and he was scheduled to be arraigned on the charges yesterday afternoon in Scottsbluff County Court. And a citizen complaint results in a sizable drug bust and felony charges for a Rapid City woman. On Thursday evening, Scottsbluff police were dispatched to the playground at Neighbor Park on 9th Avenue for possible drug use. Officers made contact with 32-year-old Brandy Hins, who was caught with nearly 700 fentanyl pills and cash on her. She was arrested and is facing a Class 2 felony charge of distribution of an exceptionally hazardous drug, and she was arraigned on the charge Monday afternoon in Scottsbluff County Court. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Welcome back. The region's most popular craft cider brewer is expanding. KNB summer intern Rebecca White has that story.
A local business is expanding to meet its growing demand. Papa Moon Craft Ciders was started by Ryan and Catlin Massey and has since grown into a booming wine and cider business.
We started like 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, I guess. Yeah. We started growing grapes.
They soon found out they were selling more wine than they could produce, so added cider to their offerings. Papa Moon buys as many Nebraska-grown apples as they can, and also imports from Washington State. The Masseys say currently they are producing 40 barrels of cider a year. Once they mastered wine and cider, Papa Moon started brewing its own honeyed mead, and they also sell smaller batches of tea, coffee, and lemonade. However, since they've grown so much over the past decade, the Massey's and the Papa Moon team are in the process of expanding. Earlier this year, they bought the old Aulick TLC building on Avenue B and hope to expand their cider production to 100 barrels with their new property. The adjoining greenhouses will let them grow more herbs and fruit to make their vision a reality.
And then we will grow a lot of our, fruit and herbs and things that we use in our ciders in those greenhouses as well.
They are also planning on adding a second story inside the building where they will have a dining area. The new site will also have a bar area, a kids' play area, and even a retail space. They have finished demolition work inside the property and have submitted their updated building plans to the City of Scottsbluff for final approval. Ryan says they like to try to promote farm to table as much as possible, getting customers to see where their food comes from and helping other local farmers and artists sell their products. And we'll have an area in the new greenhouses where people can see where their food comes from.
We try to get as much as possible from local farmers. I think we use around a dozen other local farmers who grow fruit and rhubarb and herbs and honey. There's lots of honey. We get local honey from the Shadron Crawford area.
They tell KNEB News that their hope is the new location is open and ready for the public in the later part of 2023. Catlin says they'll still get plenty of use from their current facility.
So we do a lot of weddings out here throughout the summer. So a lot of times we do a lot of weddings, but we also try to create events that are family oriented. So we do a Fermented Friday just about every Friday through the summer where we have live music and food trucks and stuff like that. And we're very kid friendly. We've got lots of room for kids to run around and play. So you'll always find our kids running around with everybody else that comes out.
In Scottsbluff, Rebecca White, KNEB.TV News.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least one float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
Well, we've shared photos from hail earlier this growing season that certainly caused headaches for crop producers throughout the state. Some had total loss on their fields due to severe weather, while others were spared from that reality. Damaging hail is often followed by crop disease for the plants that made it through the storm. Market Journal's Mike Straub recently had the opportunity to sit down with Nebraska Extension plant pathologist Tamara Jackson-Zims to get an update on some crop diseases that corn producers should be on the lookout for.
So you can see the majority of the lesions are bacterial leaf streak.
Several bacterial diseases in corn caused by early season hail and wind damage have been confirmed in fields across the state. Producers who experience damage to their fields should be assessing their crops for the severity of these diseases and the need for treatment.
Some of the diseases that we're starting to see develop in some of this corn that's been impacted by the severe weather. As many people are aware, the wounding created by hail and high winds and sandblasting, or really anything, creates opportunities for a lot of our common pathogens to infect these plants, and then we see disease development subsequently after that. And so after some of the more recent severe hail that we've seen in that surviving corn, we are beginning to see some disease development. So I want to let you know what to look for and what's already showing up out there. Some of the most common diseases that you might see after hail events are often caused by bacteria. And common diseases like Goss's bacterial wilt and blight are beginning to show up. We're also seeing other diseases too, though, even bacterial stalk rot or top rot. And so we're seeing that, and some other things that you might see as the season progresses is the development of more common smut than what we routinely see in the state. Now, these pathogens in particular that I'm discussing are ones that don't necessarily, that can't be controlled with a foliar fungicide application. They're either bacterial or the fungi that cause them aren't managed by fungicides. And so for those reasons, we haven't recommended widespread fungicide applications because of the hail. So here are some things that you can look for. And so if you start seeing lesion development and discolorations, especially on some of these wounded leaves, things like water soaking, it looks like dark discoloration or even freckling on the leaves, that could very well develop into Goss's wilt, and those lesions can become very large. If you look closely at them on the top or especially on the bottom side, they may look really shiny as well, and so that's another clue that it's bacterial. In addition, though, some of these plants that may have been impacted by hail very early on when they were seedlings can become systemically infected with Goss's wilt. Those plants may often die before they ever reach maturity. And so look at those closely, and you can tell it apart from bacterial stalk rot, because bacterial stalk rot tends to smell really bad. And so as you're examining those plants, that's a quick way to tell it apart. And so as you're out in the field, be sure and take a look at all of those. Those diseases are ones we're going to see in these fields impacted by wounding. There are other diseases that are developing in addition to that. We're seeing our normal gray leaf spot, for example. We're also seeing some bacterial leaf streak, and we see some of that after hail, but it doesn't need a wound necessarily to infect, and so you'll see some of that in these fields as well. Some of the other diseases that you might see, especially if the severe weather persists later into the season, might be different from what we're seeing now. So as the season goes on and we move into the reproductive stages of corn, if you have wounding of the stalks, that could potentially lead to some stalk rot diseases later on. Or if you have wounding of the ears, of course, that can have a big impact on grain quality and the ear rot disease development there as well. And so the timing of when those wounding events occur really determines what the problems are that we might see later on.
If your crops experience damage due to hail or wind, it's a good idea to be monitoring your fields for risk later in the season. Warm temperatures, rainfall, and wind can increase the chance for spread or further development of these diseases.
Santa is back. It's Christmas in July 2023, and Renewal by Andersen is giving the best gift ever this year. First, you get 20% off every window and patio door, and get this: no money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. That means no payments until 2025. But act fast. Santa and the reindeer can't take the heat. This offer ends August 15th. Book your free estimate right now at rbawyoming.com. Renewal by Andersen's Christmas in July sale is here. Thank you, Santa.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Why love a rain garden? Let me count the ways. Rain gardens contain and filter water runoff while recharging our underground water supply. They provide habitat for birds, bees, and beneficial insects. Native perennials give 4 seasons of color and texture, beautifying a home while increasing its value. Established gardens are low-maintenance, low-water landscape features, colorful, functional, and sustainable. Rain gardens, brought to you by Tri-City Stormwater. Our water, our responsibility.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the Riverside Discovery Center has been keeping a secret as they now have 2 baby zebras. On July 1st, both Zelda and Zuri gave birth to their foals after getting pregnant last year. A scare came when Zuri had trouble producing enough milk and caring for her baby, but zoo staff stepped in as surrogate zebra moms. They say after 2 weeks, both foals are fully healthy and will soon be on full display at the Discovery Center. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.